Welcome to a first of a new anime review series. This is basically reviewing the series Mermaid Saga. Yep, Mermaid Saga. Very brief anime. Third episode. Yeah, only 15. This is an adaptation of a manga that was released over the course of almost 10 years. Yes, 10 years. I believe you can say that the Mermaid Saga is basically kind of like an anthology series, and there's two characters in pretty much all the stories. The main series is voiced by a couple different voice actors. I can't exactly pin down exactly which one of those which. Justin Gross and Liam O'Brien. Mana, who is the female protagonist of the series, she is voiced by Karen Thompson. Yep. There's actually a few of the characters in here who appear in these episodes, and when I hear these characters, I'm like, yeah. I mean, one does not sound like the actual voice actors at all. I'll get to these characters. Mermaid Saga is simply this. The main character, Yuta, is a mortal who basically has lived for 500 years due to eating mermaid flesh. Yes, there's a thing about eating the flesh of frickin' mermaids. Flesh from their frickin' tails. Why? Just cuz. And apparently, the way to describe the series, there's two reactions you can get while eating this flesh. One, you can get eternal youth, you can live forever, or two, you become a deformed one. And you could easily die. The only way to kill this thing is by chopping off its head. Yep. Oh, I should point out though, the original manga was very violent, and this anime really trimmed it down. Now, for this particular review, I'm only covering the first 6 episodes because, well, it's a pretty short series. And from what I can tell, they pretty much covered the first 4 stories. Yes, A Mermaid's Smile, Mermaid's Village, Mermaid Forest, which is also another name for the series. The anime has another name called Mermaid Forest, and Dream's End. The first and 6 episodes are standalone episodes. The first episode is introduced to the two main protagonists of the series, Yuko and Mana. Yuko is seen wearing, of course, Mana clothing. Apparently, he got this because this came back in, let's say, the 80s. So he must have got this during 1400s because when they show him in the past, it looks like they're actually in the feudal era of Japan. Yep. And they look for this area for mermaids. Okay. We used the character Mana, this beautiful woman who's actually 15. Yeah, and here's the thing. This woman has not walked since she was 5. Apparently, she's not walked for 10 years. The reason? Because she's living with a group of old ladies there's like 3 young ones, and they apparently really want to, it's how to describe this. Okay. They want to eat mermaid flesh because they want to maintain eternal youth by eating the flesh of a human. Yes, these ladies seriously want to do that. In case you're wondering, do these characters appear outside of the two main characters? Do the characters appear in this episode appear outside of this episode? No, they don't. The whole thing about reading Yuto as immortal, yeah, they do this after he gets frickin' stabbed in the gut with a spear. I'm thinking spears, and this is the 1980s. Okay? Yep. Yeah, and he basically has no qualms taking on these ladies, and they're all mermaids. Yep, they're all mermaids. They kind of reveal this by having character killed off screen. Yeah, getting killed off screen. Hop in the water, strip naked, get in the water, turn back to the mermaid form, and then kill her, just so she can eat the flesh of a mermaid. And Mana eats it, and she becomes perfectly fine. Not like a deformed one. Eventually, of course, these two get away from these people a couple times in the episode, no matter how much basically you basically just, well, they try to kill him, but nothing works. Yep. And, well, his goal is to basically find a way to cure himself his immortality, and become mortal again so he can properly die. That's the driving force for this particular series. And Mana is his companion because she's also mortal. Yep. And, well, They get away from the ladies, they take out a few of them, and that's all you see of them. Next episode is mostly a flashback. Yeah, flashback used occasionally. Excuse me. Mana is only seen briefly at the beginning of part 1, and then she's not seen again to the end of part 2, where they're just basically riding a boat going to the port, and why are they going in this particular direction? Well, it's not revealed until episode 4. And there's a flashback to, like, probably looks like about a few years after he first ate the mermaid flesh, where, because here's the thing, in the past he was a fisherman, and after that he became sort of a soldier. He also drowned. He basically got in a war, and then he comes across a village of pirates. Though these are not typical pirates. They only steal 10% of the cargo. Why? Probably so they can survive. There's a group of rival pirates who actually kill their people who they rob. And the way they know this is that there's blood on the cargo. Yep. They get back to Alan. Oh, and by the way, the leader of this group is a woman named Ren, who is the firstborn child of the chieftain of this village. And she's like 15, 16 years old. And this woman is apparently voiced by Stephanie Steve. Now, I've heard Stephanie Steve's voice in many different anime. I'm not sure how. Now, here's kind of the strange thing. I've looked at her page, Wikipedia. I've looked at IMDb. I'm like, this does not sound like Stephanie Steve. I've heard her voice in a half a dozen series. I know her voice. She has a soft, beautiful voice. And she's a fantastic dub actress. Who, if this is a young version of her, fine. And here's the thing. This series is not done by Viz Media or actually done by a studio known as Gion. Yeah, they're the ones who actually, well, they're the ones who actually licensed the series here. It's made by TMS Entertainment. Yeah, they're the ones who make this series. Yeah. There's a few characters put in this. There's also a character named Isago, who's played by Wendy Lee. Now, this character does sound like Wendy Lee, because I've heard her in a few different series, so at least this one's right. Ren sounds almost nothing like Stephanie Steve, the one I know of her. Yes. Of course, I've never met her in person, but yeah. Yeah, this woman sounds nothing like her at all. And she and basically Ren develop a track to each other. It doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, because she only appears just for this two-parter, and that's last see of her. Yeah, Osago basically is a mermaid. Yep. And apparently, get this, she is pregnant, and she's been pregnant for 3 years. And apparently, the chieftain of this rival village, who is the leader of the other pirates, apparently he killed her husband and took her with him as probably his prize or whatever. Yeah, it's particularly very odd, to say the least. She's a very conniving woman who basically has got chalk white skin. Why she's got chalk white skin, aside from the fact she's probably a mermaid, is not really. The whole thing about her being a mermaid, like, if you watch the anime, it's like, it seems like it comes completely out of nowhere. It's like, okay, she just goes up, she basically visits the village, first time I can think of she's been in the village. Somehow she found the chieftain's house, and stabs him in the chest, though doesn't go all the way through, and then Ren picks up the sword and slices her up, supposedly killing her. And then, like, after she and Yuko basically go look for a mermaid, she apparently decided to just wake up right there, does nothing to the chief. He does survive after this. And, like, so they find the mermaid. The mermaid's killed by the rival clan, and they take Mana hostage, and Yuko was thrown into the frickin' sea, though he survives, thanks to his immortality, climbs up, kills a bunch of people, well, basically, like, tells where the Mana is, well, not Mana, where Rin is. He goes in, rescues her, he's a frickin' badass about it, and, yeah, and also his men also ate the mermaid flesh as well. And apparently she needed to eat it so basically her child get nutrition. Okay? Yeah, she never became a mermaid till like the very end of the episode. Yeah, first she's immortal and then she's a mermaid. Okay, fine. And like as soon as like yeah, and it turns out though that all the men basically, including the chieftain, just ate the flesh and turned them out what they wanted. Nope, they turned into deformed ones. Yeah, they turned into deformed ones. Yeah, okay. And this guy eventually killed by being thrown off a cliff, and he's never seen again. The woman apparently, instead basically gives birth to two offspring. She rides off, and according to Utah, never seen again in the series. Yep, Mermaid's Village. This is quite interesting. This one. So apparently there is basically like so they basically just wander about this town. She apparently gets run over by a frickin' truck, taken to the hospital, and they declare her dead, or they basically declare her that she's walked out, even though he took her back to his house, so that she can chop off her dead arm, supposedly dead arm, give it to his sister-in-law. Yep, his sister-in-law. Which they revealed at the end of the two-parter. Originally, he was supposed to marry this woman. This woman with white hair, and there's a big deformed creature there at the property. Yeah, Utah basically fights a lot of the time the main villain of this particular story. There's actually three characters here. Yeah, Toa, Sawa, and Dr. Sheena. Yep, these three characters. Dr. Sheena in this series is voiced by Michael Forrest. Never heard of these guys. Tawana is voiced by Erica Sifler, and Sawa is voiced by Hunter Mackenzie Austin. Yep. And this is all about Mermaid Hill, which apparently has a dead mermaid in it and mermaid blood. Why they have this is never explained in the series at all. And like the sister is really obsessed, basically, well, supposedly living. And then her younger sister, who actually was supposed to who actually got the property, gives her sister some of the mermaid blood. She lives, but her hair turns white. Yep, because of course it does. And then, of course, of the whole thing, apparently she loses. Actually, it's not her husband. It's actually her. Yeah, the guy is actually her fiance. Her sister's husband died during the war. Apparently, she lost her child, so basically she's the only one left. Okay, and it turns out that this whole thing was just a waste of time. So, yeah, and also the sister died. So basically, she says, "Okay, before you can go, but please burn this place down." And the place is burned down. Yep. And then of course they reveal a bit that well, he was supposed to be he was engaged to her, and that's it. It's an odd two-parter. Yep. This one is called End of a Dream. Yep. Yeah, there's a guy named Big Eyes in here who's played by Kyle Herbert. And I've met Kyle Herbert. I know the guy's voice, and I think he does an okay job in here for this one-shot character. Yeah, he appears in this one episode. Don't worry, he doesn't appear again. Big Eyes is a deformed one they reveal in this episode. He's called Big Eyes because of his big, humongous eyes he has. Of course, all deformed ones in the series got those things. And apparently he ate mermaid flesh, so he basically hangs out with Mana for a little while in the episode, and it turns out he's a kind of like a monster, and it's not exactly a good way to describe the series. I mean, animation-wise, it's pretty good. I love the voice acting, but it just seems as though that, well, it's kind of interesting, but it's not a series. The basically best way to describe it. Yeah, oh yeah, and Big Eyes, he's killed at the end of the episode. Yeah, by Yuta and like a hunter guy he just comes across. Yeah. Now you're probably thinking, okay, Oh yeah, and also they kind of basically have sort of like revivals, like other Utahs or Manas out there, like out there are immortals. Yeah, you kind of say basically, wait, Nick, you just vaguely described 6 episodes because what I described is kind of what happened in these episodes. Because yeah, it's 6 episodes per se, but that's the way it is when it comes to this particular series. And the thing is, in case you're wondering, how many chapters did the actual manga produce? 26. Yes, 26 chapters. And the anime adapted all the entire series except for one story. Now, why they didn't cover Mermaid's Gaze, that was the story I skipped over, I have no idea. But they covered all the rest, which is fine. Yeah. But that'll be covered in another video. I will probably get a chance to review Mermaid's Gaze because it was the only story they skipped over for this entire anime. So yeah, not much else to say about these first 6 episodes. They're just pretty decent. I would say that the first two-parter is actually pretty good. I like the first two-parter. The second one, the Mermaid Village one, like, wow. It's like this one was a complete waste of time. Because, like, okay, they supposedly look for mermaids. Mana gets injured. They take him to one place. They take him to another place. Yeah. The last one basically is, from what I can tell, not that good of an episode. And it's not even that memorable. The first episode is a pretty good start to this series. I like that. I would say of the first 6 episodes, the first 3 are actually really good. Yeah, I enjoy the first 3 episodes. But once you get to episodes 4 through 6, it becomes not very interesting at all. Just basically a bunch of bland episodes. You're like, oh, let's just have some random thing happen during this week. Yeah. But not much else to say about these first 6 episodes, okay? So yeah, that's it for this particular review. Tomorrow I'll probably have at least one video probably do tomorrow. Maybe 2. Because I'll probably finish up the actual anime tomorrow from Mermaid Saga. And probably work on the OVAs as well. Now when we go back to watching Inuyasha, excuse me, I'll probably start season 2 probably either Friday or Saturday at the latest right now, okay? But Tuesday next view. Bye.